Welcome everybody to 606 Maine, a podcast about knitting, crochet, and sewing. Today is Friday, June 2nd, on a gorgeous day here in San Diego, California. I am Georgianne, your hostess, and I wanted to welcome everybody. You can find me on StitchingPlaza on either Instagram or on Ravelry. We also have a 606 Maine podcast group on Ravelry as well, where you're welcome to come over and introduce yourself. And if you would like to partake in any of our knit along, crochet along, make alongs, you'll definitely want to be a member of that. If this is your first time watching, thank you. And if you're coming back, thank you for coming back. I'm glad you're sharing some of your time with us. Well, it's the episode 5 here, and we missed you for the 2 weeks. We had some craziness going on the past couple of days between the holiday and all, but we also had a new member of the family born. We welcomed to the world Skylar, Deidre's little baby, and he was born on the 27th, a beautiful, healthy baby boy, 10 fingers, 10 toes, and a great heartbeat. And I haven't checked with mom yet, so I'm not going to insert a picture, but I'm sure over the next couple episodes, you're going to see tons of him. It's so great to have a new baby in the family. Oh, I can't wait to spoil him and smell that new baby smell. It's awesome. But it was just amazing. And then with the holiday and all, we just lost track of time, and I didn't get a chance to come in here. So I want to thank you for coming back. But I will say, not recording for the 2 weeks was kind of a way to build up a stash enhancement, what's on my needles, and wait till you see what's on my needles. We have a lot going on. So I'm thinking about maybe changing the podcast from a weekly podcast to a every 2 week podcast, just between the store and everything else. And that reminds me, I am StitchingPlaza.com. I am a maker of bags on Etsy. So if you're interested in any of my gorgeous bags, come over and see me. I would love to work with you. But let me bring you to my finished objects. In the knitting world, in the yarn world, I really don't have any this week. I have been going crazy on the sewing machine. So I'm going to actually insert a picture here of project number 1 from the sewing machine. It's also my final. I can't believe I went back to school. It was kind of impromptu. I took a sewing class, which kind of works, but I don't make garments. And I made a garment, and this is Simplicity Pattern 1946, and I'll insert a photo here. The fabric was it's called Snuggle Flannel from Joann's, and I picked that up and made this shorty kimono robe, and I think it came out pretty well. It was really good for me to work with construction of garments, and I got a lovely serger as a Mother's Day gift, and it definitely came in handy for this. Otherwise, I would be showing you said product right here, but it's a little short, and it wasn't actually made for me. It was made for Skylar's mommy, Deidre, and I don't think she watches this, so I don't think it's a surprise, but if she did, surprise! Sorry, Dee. It's a gift. Don't listen right now. But it's Simplicity 1946. It's one of the beginning patterns, and I really did enjoy it. Like I said, it's about construction. I use interfacing all the time with the bags, but this really showed me how to do what's called an understitch. So when you have your plackets on your shirts, how to make them not roll. It was fun to do it with my class, and there was about 50 of us in the classroom, and I think as of late we're about 26. It's a community college level class. I'm definitely looking forward to taking the next one in the summer, and the finished project will be a tote bag, so I think I'm okay on that one. I'm not going to be stressing out as much as I was on this one. But that brings me to my second finished project, which is another sewn product, and that one I have is a project bag. well, it's actually a tote bag. And a couple of days ago, my husband informed me that we were going to go see the San Diego Padres go play the Chicago Cubs. And he is a huge Cubby fan. He's a huge sports fan. And if you've been with me for a while, you know that. So, having been a convert to the Cubbies, I made myself a tote bag. And now that I've conquered my fear of zippers, everything gets a zipper. An interior bag. So this was really this is no pattern. This was definitely something I designed for me. But it's like 17 inches by 21, and I made sure it had a nice big gusset. And I made this into a knitting bag purse for me to bring to the game. And I had no problem going through security. I've actually put a very large project and a second project in there. Had my wallet. When we left, I was able to bring the peanuts home, the Cracker Jacks. Sadly, the Padres won. Sorry, Cubbies. We didn't pull it on this one. In fact, we got swept in the series. But that was a lot of fun to do both a garment and a bag. And it was actually for me. And this is going back to my general chatter of last. I'm starting to look at things more for me. And you're going to hear more about that. But it was a lot of fun. I will say I've learned not to iron the webbing, because this is plastic base. And under a really hot iron, it was melting. So I had to redo that. But I zipped along on this, and again, zippers everywhere. Nice big bag. And I'm thinking this might be something we add to the shop for StitchingPlaza. I don't know yet. I've had some interest, but if it's something you're looking for and you want to have that purse bag, project bag, let me know. I'll be glad to work with you. It's definitely something I enjoy doing. And since that was the guinea pig, yours will have no melted handles. But like I said, welcome to what's been on my needles for 2 weeks. Did a lot, and let me pull them out over here. We were revisited by, let me find the Fade. Find Your Fade by Andrea Mowry. And this is what I was working on at the game. So I did all of my 5th colorway, and I'm working on the lace right now. I don't know if you can see that okay. But yeah, so I was here last time. The last time I brought her out, I was down here. So I did all the stockinette. I'm now on the second repeat of the lace. And it was a matter of thinking this one through. I woke up in the morning and said, that's it. I've lost my love for the Fade. I'm not going to do it. I'm going to rip it out. I'm going to find new yarn. I just didn't feel it for a time. And I posted to a couple of friends on Facebook, and I was like, I'm going to rip it out. It's time. And they're like, no, let's take a look at it. And as I was pulling it out of the project bag, I was falling in love with it again. And I was saying how, well, I didn't think it was going to be as big as I wanted it to be. And this was all from memory. And then I'm looking at it going, it's going to be as big as I want it to be. And it was warm and cuddly. And yeah, there's mistakes in the lace. There's definitely mistakes in the lace pattern. But I know they're there. I don't think anybody's ever going to come up to me and say, oh, did you know that you were supposed to do a yarn over there and not there? I don't think that's ever going to happen, even in a yarn shop. If it does, then I want to learn from them. But yeah, I think I'm just going to finish it through and put it and finish it and know that I did it. I'm actually looking forward to the cast off, not because it's a cast off, but because I want to do an I-cord bind off again, because that was a lot of fun. So yeah, I have 2 more lace repeats on this. Then I'm going to go into the purple, and I'm not going to worry so much about finishing it, but enjoying it. And I think was making myself worry too much that I had to get this done in the month and a half, 2 months that I had seen other people on podcasts doing, and I wasn't enjoying it. So I'm glad I found it. I'm glad I pulled it back out, and I think it's gonna look great. I really do. I really like the grays. I don't know if I would ever do this. I don't think I would do the find your fade sweater, or the second shawl that Andrea Mowry has come out with. But this was a lot of learning experience, and I actually used some of the techniques in another one that's on my needles. But let me show you something else that I was working on. Setting up this afternoon was so fun. It's like my entire dining room table, my desk over here, my table over here. So there's a lot of stuff. And if my husband walked in right now, he'd be like, honey, do we have yarn bar? Yeah, we did. So 1 second. So the other thing I decided to pull out and work on, and not as much as I did before, which I was surprised, was the granny stripe blanket for my husband. Whoops. And there's the front of it. And again, it's 5 feet 5 inches long, but I only got from this stitch marker to here, so it's maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 rows. I was working on that, but I was also doing magic ball for all the mini skeins I had. So I think this is going to be either a late night after dinner project for a while, or just enjoy making the balls, because it's fun and it's lightweight, and he's stealing mine again. So that one's got to come back to me. Again, still working with the colors, but this is a free pattern on Ravelry by Attic24. I'm really glad I'm following the pattern on this one, whereas on that one I was more winging it from what I remember how to do edges on a granny blanket, because I'm really enjoying my edges on this one. They're nice and straight, everything's not symmetrical, but uniform. Uniform's the word I'm looking for. But that's a nice edge. Let's see, is that rolling? No, it's not rolling at all. So I'm liking that. I'm also finding out that some of these that came through a swap, I really want to find the yarn, because this is Westchester Spinners or West Yorkshire Spinners Christmas stripe, and I really liked how it looks up crocheted, so I can only imagine how good it's going to look knitted. I've got to find that. Yeah, because I don't have enough projects going on, which brings me to the absolutely brand new works in progress. So Deidre, if you're watching this, please look away, even though you might have seen it on my Facebook and my Instagram. This, I said I was going to do it, and I talked about doing a sweater, but this is for Skylar, and it's a Flax Light by Tin Can Knits. I don't know if you can see that. I have never had so much fun with a baby sweater. Whoops, let me do it. That was the front, but here's the back. And this is done on needles 2.5 for the ribbing, and on a 3.75 for the body. It's a free pattern by Tin Can Knits called Flax Light. And because it's for a little guy who I'm sure is going to spit up and do other things with food, that I wanted to go acrylic. So I got Wool Like from Michaels, and it's a loops and thread, and I'm doing it in the gray and maroon. And honestly, this stuff feels like superwash. It's cozy. I was knitting on this, and I asked John if he would ever consider wearing a sweater like this, because being warm out here, and he couldn't tell that it was acrylic. It doesn't have that plasticky feel. So this might have to become a grown-up sweater someday. Well, it's not going to grow up, but I definitely did the details on the Flax Light. There's the garter sleeve. I did start it 3 times. I couldn't get the ribbing to be the way I wanted it to lay, and finally I jumped down from a size 2 needle to a 1.5 because I wanted it a little tighter. I am making this in a size 6 to 12 months, just so I'm thinking if he's little now, he will grow into this, and I'm sure the winters in Georgia are not as bad as I remember New England winters, but it should work well. And then I'm going to hopefully, I'll have plenty of yarn left over. I'm going to make him a little hat and little socks, because, well, he's the first baby in the family that I can do this for other than mine. And I learned with my babies. On the first baby, everything was by the book, what to expect when you're expecting, what to expect as a new mom. My mom was quoting Dr. Spock, or is it no, it was Dr. Spock. Mr. Spock was Star Trek. By the second child, it was, are you bleeding? If so, how much? and do I need to call the doctor? I didn't do as much fun knitting back then because I had the 2, but now I have no baby, so I can spoil. It's awesome. I'm definitely excited about this. So that was work in progress 3, and then I couldn't do it anymore. I couldn't wait. I decided that of course I needed another shawl, because even though the fade wasn't done, I went with the Lisa Much Serge, and I gotta tell you, I've never done a make one left, make one right like this. So I have a couple of arrows down here. I ripped it out once, came back again. I think I'm finally getting it, and it's becoming second nature to me. So I'm pretty sure this is going to work okay, but I jumped down a size. This is a paid pattern, and it's supposed to be on a size 8, but I didn't have a size 8 needle that was long enough, so I went with a 7, which is a 4.5 millimeter, and they're on my Chowgu interchangeables, and the yarn is, let's see, Black Sheep Dye Works in pewter, and then this blue variegated sky bluey color is Crochet the Winter in sky blue, and the gray is 100% merino, and this is 80/20, and they work really well. And now I understand the love for garter shawl. It's squishy. It's really squishy, and I think I'm going to enjoy cuddling it, and that way when you throw it over your shoulder, there's no right or wrong side, but theoretically that's the right side. And like I said, I'm learning how to do the make one left, make one right. It's got wraps and turns, which thanks to the Pure Joy, I got really good at. So that was that. And I don't know which project to bring upstairs with me to work on at night. Is it a granny square? Will it be a shawl? Will it be Skylar's sweater? I don't know. But that's why we have options. That's why we have lots of options, and there's never anything wrong. And because we have lots of options, I finally bought the yarn for my own sweater. I'm going to make a Buttercup by Heidi here, and I'm going to put her name up here. It is a free pattern on Ravelry called Buttercup, and let me show you the yarn. I went with a cotton acrylic blend, and I got this over at Michael's. For about 3 years, I've become a yarn snob, which my husband now calls me, and I'm not sure if it's with love or hides the checkbook, but I forgot that Michael's isn't just Red Heart or Simply Soft, which are all good yarns in their own place. I wanted a cotton weight yarn. I wanted something with lots of yardage, and this Cotton Fair by Premier is 317 yards. I need only 4 of these skeins to make a 2X sweater for myself on Buttercup. So that's a really good deal when you think about it. And of course they have their 40% coupons. But Again, one of the fears about making my own sweater has always been it's too much of a cost investment. Well, for $25, I'm going to have my own sweater that I've made, and we'll see if I like it. If I don't like it, if I don't like the wear, if it pills, if it does something, I'm only getting rid of $25, and that's like a tank of gas. So I'm really proud that I'm dropping the snobbiness of independently dyed yarn. I still love it. It's my go-to, but I'm glad I opened myself up to some options here with a big box store yarn. So those are all my works in progress, all my dream knittings. But now we have some fun stuff coming up, and we have a Christmas in July starting in June-ish. The cal's starting in July, but I've been working with Meg over at Bad Girl Sits and Knits podcast, and she does some amazing, we've done some kits before. So I've been working with Meg over at Bad Wolf Girl Sits and Knits, and we have done a collaboration before. We did Rose and the TARDIS in February. So we've been talking back and forth about we want to do another collaboration. Of course, it has to be Doctor Who because we're both huge Doctor Who fans. Excuse me. Drinking water today out of my Stocking at Stitch mug. So starting back in March, we started talking about Doctor Who. What can we do? We wanted to do Christmas in July, and I know you guys have been looking at this. Meg has shown it in her podcast. Well, now here's her yarn, and here is the bag. This is a sock to shawl bag. It's good for about 300 grams of fiber. So this will be our kit. I'm really excited about this. It's got the Cybermen, the Weeping Angels, Adipus, of course the box, Daleks, sonic screwdrivers, and what we did was I made sure that you had both sets. So front and back don't match. That way you can get all the villains, all the icons of Doctor Who. But it is a really nice deep size bag. There's the gusset. These are going to be matched with her yarn of it's 100 grams, 400 yards. We're going to do this in a 50-50 split. She's going to have 6 on pre-order. I'm going to have 6 on pre-order here. We're not sure if we're going to go more. I'm sure you can convince us, because I'll definitely be able to make more bags. We're going to release these on June 3rd at 1 p.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard, 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. So if this is something you like and you're a Doctor Who fan just as much as I am, this is something you're going to want to set your alarm for. So we are putting it up for 6 available right away, but I believe we're going to take pre-orders after that. And this leads right into our CAL. And when I told you about the Ravelry group, this is why you want to be a member of both, because we're going to run a Christmas in July knit along from July 1 to August 31. Not necessarily Doctor Who theme, but maybe get a jump on your Christmas knitting. Whether it's for you, whether it's, getting all your gifts ready for the holidays. That way maybe we're not going to have the rush from Thanksgiving to the holiday that you need to worry about. If you're doing Christmas knitting, if you're doing holiday giving, now's the time to start. And what better way than doing that is than joining a CAL with us. So come on over to the podcast. I'm going to have the chatter. Meg's going to have finished objects. And we'll be drawing prizes. And I know she's gotten prizes in already, so it's going to be a lot of fun. So definitely. So there's the doctor bag. Meg, it's on its way. It's coming. And now, with that, that's a great segue. What I'm going to do for my shop update is I'm going to start bringing in some of my Christmas bags also. So if you're not a Doctor Who fan, but you want to still join in and get a new bag for the Christmas in July cal, it's here for you. So we'll be adding some bags into the shop starting also tomorrow, which is June 3rd. And over the next couple of weeks, I will be adding more holiday bags. Most of these are going to be limited to about 6 bags each. So if you see something in June and you want it back for November, I might not have it. So give it a look-see. But one of the first bags we're adding is Frosty. And this will be a sock to shawl bag, and it's got little holly berries inside. And there'll be 3 of those in the shop right away that I'm aware of. This is the other great bag. Oh my gosh, I really, really like this one. This is Mustaching Through the Snow. Oh, isn't that great? Love it. Again, simple interiors. And then these, I can show you the fabric because they're being made today, but this will be a more poinsettia with holly berries. And we also have penguins frolicking. Okay, so we'll get that. So those will be the Christmas fabrics starting Saturday, June 3rd. They're coming into the shop. I will be also bringing back Polar Express. We have the Grinch, and we also have gingerbread from last year, but those are very, very limited quantities. So if you're interested in those, definitely jump on in on that. But those are the new Christmas bags. My general shop update, and I guess I should have prefaced this with, if you're only here for the Yarny Goodness, we're now going to talk shop update. If you want to hang out, I would love it, so you can see what else is coming. But we got some beautiful fabrics in the mail, like literally moments ago. And I'm excited. I was checking out my Instagram, and Cappy of the Yarn and I was showing some yarn that she had dyed, and I think she actually did this through solar. And I had forgotten that I had stashed some fabric that was very, so flamingos, and pineapples, and it was very tropical. And it made me feel really cool about looking at other people's Instagrams, because I was like, oh, well, sometimes you're stuck in a fabric and you don't always think that fabric's going to go with this fabric. Well, Cappy, I talked to Cappy about this, and she was very generous. And she's like, you know what? I'm going to send you 3 skeins of that so we could do a collaboration. So then she also sent me the fabric that it was inspired by. So it's not even washed yet, but it's Grandma's camper. And you can see that we've got little flamingos and the camper. And I think these are going to be the larger bags with the zipper. These just call to larger bags, I think, because the print's bigger. But here's going to be the interior. And it calls for summer. It's definitely fun. So look for a very limited quantity of that collaboration with Cappy and me, or is that Yarn and I? And that'll be coming into the shop probably later this week. We got some more of our hiding sheep. And now we've got sheep in the fields. And then I discovered this really cool quilt store. And I just had to, oops, let me show you this side, it's better. Oh, of course, they're upside down. Chickens knitting. Come on, chickens knitting. Can you even? I grew up on a ranch. We had chickens. They did not knit. I don't know why this is so funny to me. But this will be coming out. And again, I think these will probably, I'm definitely going to try to keep the lammy wool knitting bags themed to the larger ones. It just seems that they work out. I also always have enough fabric to make them into the smaller sock to shawl bag. So if that's something that interests you, convo me. I'm there. I'm on it. So that's shop update. I can't even tell how long this podcast is because I had to split the dog out because, well, he was being a good dog and didn't want to make a mess in the house. Thanks, Baxter. A lot of goodness coming around. I definitely think as I've been talking, I've been realizing I enjoy doing a 2-week podcast. I think that's definitely going to be easier with Michael in the summer and all the other things going on with the store and with school. So I guess I've slipped into general chit chat. So general chit chat this week is kind of just where things have been and where things are going. We are definitely doing much better than I ever thought I would a year and a half ago. It took me a long time to decide I wanted to run a business again. Back in the 80s, my mother and I had a company called Mom and Me Creations, and she was the best partner. She was the best marketing technique person. She always put our name out. We did handcrafted children's sweaters. The problem with this company was the handcrafting was me. Mom was, like I said, Mom was a really great barker. She got our name out there, but when it came right down to doing the work, it was on me. So I burnt out really quick, and I didn't want to start another venture, and this time knowing that this was going to be where my money was going to come from to help support the house, I wanted to do it right. So when we started the business, I was very shy and hesitant about business cards and talking to John about it, and now even John is my best business partner. He doesn't sew, but he gets it. He knows that if I need to get some supplies, he's not ever saying no. He's not one of these husbands that has said, oh, well, you've got too much of this, you can't do this anymore. If this is my dream, he totally gets it, and I'm really very fortunate in that matter. So basically life's just been really busy. My son has a YouTube podcast as well. His is more for video games, so he never even shows his face. He says it's very brave of me to show mine, and at first I was like, oh, well, it doesn't really matter to me. And then I understand where he is being who he is. Putting his face to a podcast is kind of scary. But even 6 months ago for him, he didn't go up and talk to people, and now he's talking to people. When we were at the Cubs game, he was interacting with people in the suite area that we were at. He now asks for food, and instead of saying, I'm hungry, I'll have whatever, I feel like this. I would like to have that. And these are all really great things. And it's just been a really good week. Health is good, family's good, new baby, good, business, great. School, almost over, starting another one literally it goes through the 5th of June for one class, and then I'll be starting another class on the 12th, and that's great. I'm just very blessed, and I'm happy to be here. I have an awesome family, I have awesome friends, and I have you guys, so thank you for joining me. I will see you in 2 weeks. What I'm going to try to do now is podcast on the Fridays, release on the Saturdays. It seems to work with everybody else's schedule, especially with the collaborations. That way we can all time it. Meg was so cute. She's like, well, why don't we release at this time? And I was like, I don't get up that early on a Saturday. And I think she forgot that I'm this way and she's that way. But definitely stop in, join the Cal. I will see you soon, and have a great day, and be good to yourselves. Bye.